Hey you guys, SickCod97.
Would you please shut the hell up?
What's up you guys, this is SickCod97 doing another pay-per-view preview. I want to quickly, before I start this video, say that this is not a video showing any footage from the Survivor Series pay-per-view. At no point in the description or title does it ever mention that it does say that, so please don't go disliking the video if you were expecting to see that. I've got no problem with you not watching it, just please don't go giving me a load of hate, because at no point do I mention that it does show footage. And a lot of you who watch me constantly will realise that for once I am not showing gaming footage while I'm talking. I'm actually vlogging. It's really because I've decided I don't want this channel to be 100% about gaming. I want this to be a WWE channel. It's not just limited to gaming, so yeah, I want it to be just vlogging as well. Like, if I wanted to talk to you guys about what's been going on in the WWE recently, I wanted to do some vlogs about it as well. So yeah, we're gonna get into this pay-per-view, and I've got the match card up here. And the first match, the Intercontinental Championship match between Big E, Langston and Curtis Axel. Now, I am looking forward to this match, really because I'm really happy that they've handed the IC title to Big E. I think he is very much deserving of it. I mean, he came into the WWE with Ziggler and AJ, and then he didn't really go anywhere with them, and you know, they just didn't seem to have anything to do with him, and they've turned him face now, and he's really got, the crowd has really got behind him in that, and they're loving Big E as a face, and I'm liking him as well. And yeah, picking up the IC title, I didn't see him doing that on Raw when he did it the other day. I didn't see him winning it. I mean, Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler, they were really bigging up the match, and at no point did I actually think he was going to pick up the title in the match, so I was really shocked to see Big E win that. And yeah, Curtis Axel, I'm not sure what they're trying to do with him at this point. I don't know what the situation is with Paul Heyman. They don't seem to want to be bringing Paul Heyman back straight away, and they've said Axel isn't a Paul Heyman guy or anything anymore, so that's kind of a shock to me. So I don't really know what they're going to be doing with him, but yeah, it's going to be a good match nonetheless. And obviously I can't see Big E dropping the title immediately. He's only just won it, but it should be a good match. Okay, moving on to the next match, and it's Kofi Kingston versus The Miz in what is actually the kickoff match. I don't know why I didn't start with that one. I probably should have, but I have a lot to say on this match. I really do, mainly because of The Miz and his heel turn. Now, those of you who know me, obviously, I love The Miz. I think he's really, really good on the mic, and he is okay. He's okay in the ring. He could be better, but I'm not saying he's a bad wrestler or anything, so he is pretty good. And The Miz, I don't blame WWE in the first place for turning him face. If you remember back when The Miz was heel and just about to go through his face turn, the crowd was really, really behind him. You know, they were joining in with his chants and everything, like the awesome, I'm The Miz and I'm awesome. You know, the crowd was really getting behind that, and they were really starting to enjoy The Miz, so I don't blame them at all for turning him face, but I think his face turn went on for far too long. The WWE didn't seem to pick up on the fact that it just was not working. The crowd recently has just really disliked The Miz. You know, he's been having matches with the heels, and they've been booing him and cheering the heel, beating the crap out of him. You know, the main point for them really, I think, was when Randy Orton was beating the crap out of him in his hometown, and they were cheering Randy Orton on and actually booing The Miz. You know, I think that was a real point for the WWE to realise we need to do something with this guy. So yeah, they've turned The Miz heel, and I really think hopefully he's going to go back to how he was, because he was pretty damn awesome, if you pardon the pun, back then when he was a heel. So yeah, obviously it's a bit like when Big E picks up the title. You can't see him dropping it immediately. The Miz has just gone through a heel turn. I can't see him losing to Kofi immediately. So yeah, I've got The Miz down to win that match. Moving on next to the 7-on-7 traditional elimination tag team match between the Total Divas and the Real Divas, as they are calling them. And I'm rather confused about this match because of one particular diva, and that is Kaitlyn. Now, I understand she's not with Total Divas or anything, but her partners are Tamina, Alicia Fox, Aksana, Summer Rae, AJ, and is that Rosa Mendes, that's it. She's relevant, isn't she? But Kaitlyn, when did she turn heel? This has got me confused, because Kaitlyn never had a heel turn. So I don't understand how they can be sticking her in a match with a load of heels on her team and be putting her up against all of the faces of the WWE, and even Marie is in the Total Divas team. I don't understand how she can be viewed as face when, you know, in Total Divas, obviously, you see her starting on the Bellas and everything, and she's clearly an antagonist in that whole storyline. So I don't understand how, you know, the placement of a couple of divas in that match is. But really, I don't have much to say about it, apart from the fact that I think the Total Divas are going to win. Mainly because it's just going to give the show a bit more momentum, and all the superstars from Total Divas will get given a bit of a push from that. I mean, it's possible that we could see Eva Marie go through a proper heel turn in that process. I mean, even though she's not really a face or a heel, she hasn't had that much time to establish that. But there's possible she could turn her back on the Total Divas and all that and become a proper heel. But there is one interest that I do like about this match, and it's an elimination tag team match. Keep in mind, elimination means that we are going to see one diva in the ring that we haven't seen before. We are guaranteed to see Jojo perform for the first time in WWE. She has been in a match before, but I believe it was a 3-on-3 tag team match, and she never actually got tagged in. So that was a bit of a shame. So it'll be interesting just to see Jojo in the match, and WWE better not screw her over by like her coming in and getting speared straight away by Kaitlyn or something, being taken out straight away, because it should be interesting to see what she's like in the ring. Okay, now moving on to the male elimination tag team match, the traditional Survivor Series match, and we've got Cody Rhodes and Goldust, the Usos, and the returning Rey Mysterio to go up against the Shield and the Real Americans. Now, this match, I kind of feel like it's a match that they have placed in the card because, one, they want to go with the traditional Survivor Series match, and it's 10 superstars that they just didn't have anything to do with for the card. They didn't have any place for them, so they just chucked them into that match. So, yeah, there hasn't been real, like, promos on it or anything. There hasn't been much build-up. Hopefully we'll see it on SmackDown tonight. So, yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. What I do like is I can't really seem to pick a winner. I would most likely say Cody Rhodes and Goldust, the Usos, and Rey Mysterio, because Rey Mysterio has just come back. I get the feeling that Rose Dynasty might lose the tag team titles tonight on SmackDown. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's just who I can see for the winner for this one. So hopefully it'll be a really good match, just to make up for the lack of promos or anything. Okay, now we move on to some of the big matches on the card. We've got the World Heavyweight Championship match between John Cena and Alberto Del Rio. And just for a second, I would like to give an applaud to the WWE for bringing John Cena back and actually getting me, of all people, behind him, because they have brought him back into the perfect situation. Say what you like about how John Cena shouldn't have been put into a World Heavyweight title match, but it's a brilliant way for them to bring him back, because obviously John Cena gets booed most of the time. They have brought him back and put him up against Alberto Del Rio, who is arguably the most hated person in the WWE at the moment. You can't put past the fact that majority of people dislike Del Rio, and they have put Cena up against in a feud with him, and people have got behind Cena. I've got behind Cena. I mean, at least he's not being shoved in our face, is what I can say. John Cena has often just come in with the WWE, and he's just, you know, WWE champion, absolutely dominant, cannot be defeated by anyone, shoved right in your face. He will be main eventing all the time. He will end Raw, he will end SmackDown, he will end every single pay-per-view, and they're not doing that anymore. John Cena is not the face of the WWE. I hate to cliche with what's been going on recently, but he is not the face of the WWE anymore, really. He is just a big guy. And yeah, I really like how they bring back John Cena, even though he really shouldn't have been pushed into getting a title straight away. I can understand why they've done it. And yeah, for the match overall, I think it's poor. I think they definitely could have played this one out better. I don't want to seem cocky. I think I could have done a better job on planning out this card than the creative writing staff in WWE. Think about this. Survivor Series is about to be about elimination and the last man standing, and do you not think this would have been a better match? John Cena versus Alberto Del Rio versus Damien Sandow in an elimination triple threat match. Damien Sandow cashed in the Money in the Bank contract and had like 2 weeks after that where he looked really decent and really strong and was getting pushed to a main event even. He was, I think, he main evented SmackDown with Cena, Rose Dynasty and the Real Americans. So yeah, he was looking big, and now he's shrunk back into jobbing, and he lost to Ziggler the other day, and he's not even on the card. And I really think that was it's so stupid for them to pass up an opportunity with Sandow to push him, even with him losing with the Money in the Bank contract. You know, he pushed Cena to the limit, and they've just dropped him completely. And he's shrinking back down to nothing, and I think everyone knows that Cena isn't going to lose the title to Del Rio. I think even if WWE did go with a swerve and somehow Del Rio won the title at Survivor Series, people would still be annoyed because no one likes Del Rio and they don't want to see him as World Heavyweight Champion. So yeah, this is, despite them pushing it as one of the big events, I really think it's a bit of a disappointing match for us to be seeing, and I've got John Cena coming down as the winner. Okay, now we move on to the two kind of interesting matches. We've got CM Punk and Daniel Bryan versus Erick, Rowan and Luke Harper of the Wyatt family. Now, this one did confuse me. I didn't think that it was going to happen, because with a lot of people, I thought CM Punk and Daniel Bryan and the Wyatt family were going to be in the traditional Survivor Series match. We all saw, you know, the 6-on-6 tag team match on Raw. I think a lot of people thought that was going to be the Survivor Series match. We were going to have a 6-on-6 elimination tag team match. And so did I. I generally thought that was going to happen. But they've gone a little bit differently here, WWE, and I don't mind that. To see Erick Rowan and Luke Harper and CM Punk and Daniel Bryan being in the match on their own. What I found interesting is how they didn't actually have Bray Wyatt on the card to have a match, you know. So obviously he's going to be out there with the Wyatt family, but it's interesting that Bray Wyatt doesn't have a match for the card. Yeah, I was quite surprised by that. So yeah, at least they kept it interesting. They haven't made it predictable at all. I didn't see this match happening. I saw the tag team match happening. So yeah, who's coming to come down the win with it? You just don't completely know. I mean, I'd like to say CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, but Bray Wyatt being out there, interference is a possibility. You could see Bray Wyatt distracting Punk or distracting Bryan. And here's a plot twister. Could you possibly see a CM Punk or Daniel Bryan heel turn? Perhaps. Could you see CM Punk turn on Daniel Bryan? Could you see Daniel Bryan turn on CM Punk? It could be one of the two. I mean, WWE is very unpredictable at the moment. You can't see a lot of the stuff that they've got planned. So it's possible to see a heel turn for one of those two. But I'm going to go with my gut instinct. I'm going to say CM Punk and Daniel Bryan to come away with the win over this one. So yeah, it should be a good match at least. Just to see CM Punk and Daniel Bryan team up together. We don't see that very often. Okay, now moving on to what is most likely going to be the main event. We got Randy Orton versus The Big Show for the WWE Championship. Now this one I have absolutely no doubt on who is going to win at all. Randy Orton is going to come out of that with the WWE Championship, because I've heard so many rumours, and they've pretty much been 100% confirmed, that this wasn't the original plan. Big Show versus Randy Orton was not the original plan for Survivor Series. I actually heard it was supposed to be Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. But yeah, it's interesting to see that that could have been the plan. But I think if Big Show versus Randy Orton wasn't the original plan, then there's no chance of Show picking up the title. You know, if there wasn't that original plan, then they've had no plan of Show taking over the title and having a run with that. So yeah, also, you know, we had the Authority turn around to Randy Orton and say, you know, you're on your own for the night. So this is the chance for Randy Orton to prove himself, to push him as the big face of the WWE. And, you know, we had the feud with Daniel Bryan, and Orton didn't win once without being helped. So it hasn't pushed Orton at all to be a major competitor, you know, to be completely dominant over a lot of people. And I think a clean win over the Big Show will push Randy Orton to be the true face of the WWE. And yeah, it's a bit of a predictable match card. But yeah, hopefully they'll pull off a good match, and I really don't want it to be the main event. I'm hoping that CM Punk and Daniel Bryan versus the Wyatt family will be the main event, but somehow I can't see that happening. So yeah, championship match, Orton to retain. Hopefully it'll just be a good match, just make it interesting on the night, I guess. So yeah, that's all I got to say about it. And yeah, that finishes this video, you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you do like me vlogging for the videos instead of putting the gaming ones on there. I just thought it would be an interesting way to mix it up for once. And yeah, if you don't like it, then comment, tell me, personal message me, just tell me, you know, it's not a good idea, I don't like it, go back to gaming footage. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching this video. Leave a like and a subscribe, and goodbye.